Hello, hello. I'm Zach Hammer. Today I am joined by Charlie Madison. We're going to be talking about a really interesting situation where, if you're in the lending world, you're probably really familiar with this scenario where you're constantly chasing down real estate agents, feeling like you become a donut delivery man or woman, regardless, but you're constantly chasing down realtors with donuts and MSAs and stuff like that, trying to hunt down opportunities and get people to actually notice you. And it's likely, just like we see, causing a lot of frustration where you put a lot of effort into building these relationships and often aren't being given the time of day by the realtor partners that you seek to work with. Luckily, Charlie has actually figured out some really powerful ways to flip the script on that process and to put lenders in a position of authority where realtors are coming to you, where you are building a waiting list of realtors who are excited to work with you. Charlie developed this process by working with his lender partner, Paul. That's what we're going to be diving in today, is a bit of that story, a bit of where that came from, what that process looks like, and ultimately we're going to extend an opportunity to you of possibly being able to do the same thing if you are interested in running that same process as well. So Charlie, I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to be talking to you about this. Why don't you go ahead and dive into just that foundational idea of what started this? What problems were you noticing either in your business or in Paul's business? What was going on there that sort of led to this journey that you went on with him?
Yeah, I'm excited to share. It's amazing the look on Paul's face whenever I ask him. I was like, oh, so what's this been able to do for you? Like, what's the like? How's it change your business? And when he looked, he's like, in 30 years of business, I've never had this type of leverage. And
Mm,
I'm lucky in that I'm in a mastermind with some of the top realtors and lenders, and I've gotten to know them really well over the last 7 years.
right.
And I built this marketing process for myself because I ran a
Right.
programming company for over a decade before I got into real estate. And I kept looking for someone I could pay to do this for me. And I was like, I'm going to build it for myself. But then I started talking to
Right.
Paul and a few of my other friends, Tracy and Scott, about like, hey, you know what? This is what I'm doing. And Paul was like, I can
Right.
use that to work and like deepen my relationships and get more referrals from realtor partners. And so I started asking him,
Right.
and of course, the current situation, most people, he's been in the business, you hire someone to book 45 calls for you, you have, all these coffees, you sell your
Right.
rates, you deliver donuts, the realtor asks for leads.
Right.
And, that's something that to boil it down, he was like, I never had
Right.
positioning before. I was the
Mm,
chaser instead of the chased. And, when I
yeah.
talked to other lenders, that was pretty common.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. That's definitely what I see across the board as well. There's typically lenders positioning is often it's hard to stand out. It's hard to differentiate on some of this stuff, and it can feel like a constant grind of trying to chase down real estate agents just to ultimately give you the time of day. Especially if you need business today, what do you do? What do you do to go about building that process and be able to stand out amongst an army of people that are all trying to do the same thing? But you got to work actually putting together some solutions and strategies built on your own experience and what Paul was saying might work for him. Can you dive into what that looked like? So you saw the problem. Both you and Paul thought that this might be a solution. What did you guys actually do together, and what were the results?
Yeah. So, I've built this process that automatically markets me and my real estate team to the people we know. And
Right,
it's my marketing process. And
right,
so I started using it for Paul. So we started marketing Paul
right,
to the same thing. And what's cool about it is, it takes an hour to set up, and then it literally
mm,
takes no time to personally market you to your sphere of influence. And
right,
seems pretty unbelievable. So like Paul was like, I want to try it.
right,
So we started doing it. And then I've got a couple other friends that have done it. And they started saying, like one of them, they were just like, I got a call from my neighbor. Well, he was my neighbor, and I moved 5 years ago. I haven't talked to him since then.
right,
He's not on any of my databases, and he just randomly like said, "Oh, I was just thinking about you. Do, do you think I should
right,
refi?" And so Scott, Tracy, Paul, they started having these experiences
Right.
of people that they know but didn't spend any money following up on. In fact, hadn't contacted in years. These people started coming to
Right.
them as, what we call compliant clients, which means they said,
Mm.
I trust you, I want your help, and they do whatever is needed. And so when
Right.
Paul did that, what we decided, he was like, I think I can offer this to realtor partners. And,
Right.
in a way, like, because we all know as a lender, if you could go to any realtor, like I'm a realtor, got my practice in Nashville. Paul
Right.
said, if I could go to every lender I want and say, can I give you a client that's pre-approved, that's like
Right.
going to buy, like that makes that conversation with the realtor really easy. Of
It's a lot
course,
better than donuts.
a lot better than donuts. And so how close can you get that? And so we know that most realtors don't have a database or don't keep up with
Right.
it. I don't keep up with mine the way that I should, which is why I built this
Mm.
system. If you look at Ninja Selling or Buy Referral Only or any of the coaching companies that talk about sphere of influence, for every 100 families a realtor knows, there's 10 to 20 transactions. And if a realtor's been in the area for a while, there's a chance they know. I don't know, how many Facebook friends do you have? I've got like 1,400 and I've got like 3,000 people in my phone. So what
Right.
we did was Paul reached out to him and said, hey, my friend is the founder of this company, and he's letting me give this as a gift to a few realtors, and I thought of you. And they're like, well, tell me more about it. And he's, instead of him having to sell it, he said, well, the
Right.
best thing, I've actually got the founder's private calendar. Why don't I just
Right.
book a time for us three and he can explain it to you?
Right.
So we hopped on a 3-way call, and I I've got this real short presentation. I'm a realtor. I know we're ADD. It's got to get quick to the point. And I walk through like, hey, here's what Paul is offering you.
Right.
We're going to automatically build your database. We're going to market you to your database, and you're going to do a video call with Paul every other week. And at the end of the time frame, if you like it, you can pay for it. If you don't, it was completely free for you, and it's a
Right.
no-brainer. It's an offer that you'd really be dumb to say no to.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the magic of it, what ended up happening, some people still say no. You don't want to work with them anyway, right? I think Paul came up with the term. We end up calling it the realtor filter, because what ended up happening, he
Right.
reached out to about 12 people, 12 realtors that he wanted to work it with.
Right.
About 8 of them said yes. And then
Right.
well, we didn't have the weekly video or the bi-weekly video the first time. So this was a place that
Right.
we had to learn. The first time, the
Right.
8 said yes, but what ended up happening is he did get those clients business, but it's not a lead. It's not, you don't get 20 leads. It's really
Right.
the best kind of client possible. It's a compliant client that'll easily
Right.
close. There's not a lot of those. And so what happened is he didn't deepen the relationship with the realtors, most of them. So
Mm.
out of the 8, he still got 2 that he did a lot of business with. And one of them, she was in a mastermind, and her friends were like,
Right.
what are you doing? And
Right.
she was like, well, I'm working with Paul, and this is what we're doing. So she got 8 of her friends to hop on a call. And by this time, we found kind of the thing that made the difference, which was that duo video every other week. Because
Right.
just getting people on the system, the realtor, you call the realtor and they ignore you. They're busy. They're putting out fires with appraisals and inspections. They're sleeping until 10:30,
Right.
doing what us realtors do. And there was no reason really for them to deepen the relationship, but that's the purpose.
Right.
So with this
Right.
new group of people, what Paul was able to do, same thing. He shared with them what it was. We did a 3-way Zoom call. I set them
Right.
up. And then every other week, he did just a 10, 20-minute video for them. And so what
Right.
they would do a call, just like me and you were doing. And now we advertise that to their sphere of influence as well. We also email it to
Right.
their sphere of influence. The database we automatically build, because I feel like, I can say this about realtors because I am one. They want quick
Right.
hits. They're used to it, the ADD. Well,
Right.
the ads we know work, but a lot of times it takes longer for you to see it. But when we send the video out as an
Right.
email, you're going to get some quick hits. So they get quick
Makes sense.
hits. And then every other week you meet, you get to talk to them about what makes you unique. Most lenders do X, I do Y. This is
Right.
how it's helpful. And you deepen the relationship with them.
Right.
And still, out of that 8, only 3 are really good partners. Like a few of
Right.
them stopped showing up at all, but that was
Right.
great. He's not setting up coffee. He's in his office waiting on a Zoom call. If they
Right.
don't show up, they're just filtered out. He doesn't want to work with those. So
Right.
he ended up top grading his realtor partners. And now he works with people where, they're growing their business together. And, I
Right.
asked him, I was like, so what has this done for you? And he said, I
Right.
know that anytime I want more business, I can get a group of realtor partners and let the
Right.
right ones filter themselves towards me and the wrong ones filter out. And I know I can just repeat this over and over. And he's recruited realtors and lenders all across the country.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. There's so much that I love about this process because you actually were in the trenches figuring this out live with somebody running this process. And you have now been running this process with some more people. You're in the midst of doing this with some more people. But what you were able to see through the process is your original vision of kind of what you were doing to reach your sphere was working, and it worked great for lenders as well, both to not only get more business from past clients, but also business as referrals, being able to leverage those referrals and business into relationships with realtors well as attracting more of those relationships. But then you figured out this missing component of, if you really want to establish a good partnership with somebody where you have that continual repeat business, that referral business, really that takes some level of time to build that. And what better way to do that than over creating content together that helps both of your businesses, really? And so you made that part of the system, integrated it, and were able to get even better results. But still, you realize that something that people might find as a downside is actually the upside of, not every real estate agent, real estate partner is going to be an ideal fit for you. They may not be serious, motivated, ready and willing to give the same effort into the relationship with you as you're trying to put in with them, right? The same thing that we started with at the beginning of having to chase down that business. We don't want that, right? We're trying to flip the script on this process and come to this with a positioning of authority, a positioning of mutual respect. And so by running this process of seeing who shows up, who actually fully engages and commits in the process, you're really able to see who are the best realtors for me to be working with. And your business grows together, which is really part of what's powerful in this process as well. This is all really exciting. And really, the most exciting part of this is that, like we mentioned toward the beginning of this, you're in the process of rolling out this program to lenders all across the country right now, rolling this out market by market. Can you walk through, just at a high level, what does this look like? What are you doing to work together with lenders, just at a high level, quick idea of what this program is that you're rolling out?
Yeah, it's a 16-week program. That's what we found really works to make sure that you get, and the goal is that you get 4 great realtor referral partners out of this.
Right.
And so the first thing we do an initial onboarding call. We call it the 567 call. And we really find
Right.
out, like, what does success mean to you? Similar, and we're going to
Mm.
show you similar that you're going to do with realtors. We've got a program, but there's also some specifics. So we find out what's important to you. One, to make sure that we're a good fit with what you're
Right.
wanting to do. And two, make
Right.
sure that it's something that, like, I love the lenders that I work with. And like my favorite thing
Right.
is to help them get where they want to be and make sure that that's the
Right.
case. Also, that's
Right.
something that you're going to do with your realtors. So that's number one.
Right.
Two, we set up the referrals while you sleep system. That's the marketing system that I
Right.
built for me and my team with Paul. And what that means is
Right.
we set you up where we automatically build your database. We actually connect to your databases. We sync with your address books. We get photos
Right.
and testimonials of you done for you. And then we market you
Nice.
to your sphere of influence. One of the cool things as part of this program, we also use an omnipresent strategy. So not only do people see you on Facebook and Instagram, they see you on websites all over the world, whether they're reading, I don't know, the Sacramento Bee or New York Post or the Onion, whatever is, and then we also,
Real
yeah,
quick on that note, I love one of the things that you've mentioned in the past about this is you had I forget the full story, but it was something like a client was saying, "Hey, have you been seeing my ads? Have you been seeing me show up?" And the person responded with, "I haven't seen your ads, but I feel like I can't go anywhere on the internet without seeing you. I'm seeing you're up to a lot." And that's effectively the end result of the referrals while you sleep system running on your behalf, is that your sphere, the people that you're looking to be in front of, they won't be able to go anywhere without seeing your stuff being impressioned by you. So I love what you've built with that and how you've made it easy and made it really so hands off for people to get that result.
Yeah, and you mentioned like one of the most important parts is all of the marketing is based on Robert Cialdini's principles of influence. He's the
Right.
godfather of influence and persuasion, and he found seven
Right.
things that have to happen to create influence. And he wrote the book
Right.
back in 1985. He's written a few books since then. All of the marketing actually hits on scarcity, authority, likability,
Right.
consistency, social
Right.
proof. So it's you to your people. Like no one else out there is doing that. So what that means is the people that know you to your automatically updated database every day, they're getting a daily dose of influence. A daily
Mm,
dose of influence. One of Paul's
I love that.
favorite conversation or examples is me and him. We actually had a client that we worked on with together, and super
Right.
type A, super successful, handles all the details. And the first time we worked together, he shopped a bunch of lenders. He was, you know, just doing all the things that is not fun when you're lending. And Paul
Right.
Paul said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep this guy because he's a friend of yours. And so we closed it. Well, then we implemented this referrals while you sleep influence system, and
Right.
this was about a year and a half ago now. The client, he called me, but he also, and Paul shared the email. He texted Paul and said, "Man, it's been so great keeping in touch with you, like seeing pictures of you and the family. Like, I just feel like, we've been in touch the whole time. I'm looking to buy a new house. And this time, no rate shopping, no talking to other
Right.
lenders, you know, a compliant client that, was wonderful to work with because, that all of the
Right.
influence was there, the trust. And like this was the same person, and
Right.
the only thing that they'd seen was the referrals while you sleep system. So that's the power of the referrals
Right.
while you sleep system. There's three other things that come with this program. One, it's the video strategy. So how to do the Duo video system, like what do you say on the video, how to make it easy. This right here is everyone knows they need to do video, and this is the offer
Right.
that just makes it a no-brainer for both the realtor and the lender.
Mm,
So how to do that,
right.
we walk you through the do's and the don'ts, and then we also invite you to the authority building core videos that we do. So we do a set of
Right.
videos that drastically explode your influence with your sphere of influence. That's the
Right.
third thing. The fourth is the whole realtor partnership system. We help you know who to select, what to say,
Right.
how to get them in. Once they're in your trial, how to make sure that
Right.
you're always leading and you have the ability to decide who you work with and who you don't. And how to let them down easy.
Makes sense.
That's a great thing to be able to do. Be like,
Right.
"Hey, you know what? Like we're not a good fit."
I love that because this is the key to this. The reality is, if everyone is who you're targeting, then you're targeting no one, right? You make it clear that you really know how to select who's going to work well for this, who's going to be the best fit to amplify your business, where you can also bring the most value to their business. And there's some key criteria that you guys have figured out and tested along the way to figure out who would be a good fit and what. And so having that thought through at the onset of this definitely makes that process a lot easier as a lender trying to get in and figure out how to wrestle with this idea and put it into action.
Yeah, and part of the magic is it really doesn't matter what anyone says. What matters is what they do in action when the rubber meets the road. And so what this the trial process that Paul puts his realtors through is to make sure they're a good fit and see the ones that show up and see the ones that give him energy and the ones that their clients give him energy. Like he said, I've never had this leverage before. I can be the picker now. And the thing is, if I just try to pick off of a coffee conversation, I wouldn't it doesn't matter. But this is a trial. I mean, really, the hunter has become the hunted, so to speak, where you get to see how's your energy when you work with this person. And that leads to the last thing of this program, our expert training and guidance. You're going to run into bottlenecks. You're going to have questions that you haven't thought of. Through these 16 weeks, we make sure that all those are answered so that you have a system where you can get maybe you want to recruit lenders, you want to recruit financial advisors. At the end of this, you want to recruit more realtor partners. You don't have to stop at 4, but you've got a repeatable recruiting system that you can use in your business for the rest of your life.
So powerful. And not only are you setting it up so that they can get questions and answers from you guys, but you actually come together as a community where people can engage not only with you, but other people that are going through this process, running this system themselves as well, seeing what's working, where people want to adapt, all that kind of stuff. This is one of the things that I've always found in my own business as well. It's always good to be able to have those people that I'm doing a process alongside because there's something about people who are learning at the same time that sort of reveals things to you. So you have this set up not only where they could just get answers from you and your team, but even engage with the community and engage with other people that are going through this process at the same time as well. That's super powerful. There's a lot of aspects of this program that sound awesome, that are amazing, and I think are really powerful for people. But there's a couple few things that you've done that really set this apart as a program in terms of really giving people a massively high ability to be successful, as well as some unique things going on this time around. Especially, you want to dive into what those things are?
Yeah. So the first is you do not have to be techie at all. That's huge. Second, what's really cool here is this group of people, as we launch this nationwide, is whoever signs up, they're going to get 90-day exclusivity in their market area. So you're going to get a head start compared to everyone else. And we're also going to throw additional ad spend behind you to your sphere of influence because we want this to be known. And then the other is, and this is kind of some of our clients' favorite part, is we've got the ability to, we call it the shock and awe marketing, where we are going to be able to blanket everywhere you go commonly, where they're going to see your ads. They can see it online. They can actually see it on smart TVs. So the grocery store, the gym, the school that your kids go to, and every real estate office in your city, we're going to be able to GPS coordinate that anyone that goes in and out of those places will see your ads for the next 90 days.
Powerful. That's so powerful.
And then on top of that, what we call the inversion of cost. This is really common in the real estate world, where we are taught and we figure out, how do I get my partners to cover some or all of the cost? And like I said, the hunter has become the hunted. So I'm going to show you how Paul and my other clients are getting their realtor partners to pay for the system for themselves, but also for Paul. So it's zero cost for you, and where you feel really good about it because you are providing amazing value.
That's so powerful. Yeah. So not only do you set this up so that people are able to get amazing results, but you're actually going to show them how to be able to make it so that they don't have to pay for anything, and it's essentially being paid for them. That's super powerful. So, like, this sounds fantastic. I'm sure many of the people listening to this, watching this right now, are super excited to be able to take the next steps. If somebody wants to go ahead and run this process with you, what are those next steps? What does it look like to actually get started? What do people need to do? What does all that look like?
So go to the website, click the link here, fill out the short application. If it seems like you're a good fit, we'll reach out to you and schedule that 567 call. We're
Right.
really, like, you already know about the program, so I'll answer any questions you have. But really, the goal is to
Right.
find out what's important to you, what success means to you, and I want to make
Right.
sure that we're a great fit. One of my favorite things to do is have these calls, and either way, it helps see where you want to go. So that's number one.
Right.
If you're a good fit, then you'll be able to sign up. Our next group starts the first week of next month,
Right.
so we're bringing on only 12 folks. I found that it's nice to have a nice concise group. If we've got a little bit less
Right.
than that, we can still get started. But I had to cut it off in the past, and that's the most that we want to do. So go to the website,
Right.
fill out the short form, and if you're a good fit, we'll hop on the call and find out what's important about you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's powerful. So, yeah, I definitely recommend people take that step. Now, I do know some people might still have some level of reservation that they want to make sure that taking that step will make sense. So, first off, again, filling out the application, taking that step, all they're committing to at that point is hopping on a call to see if it's a good fit mutually, right? Both of you guys, you'll hop on, you'll talk, you'll answer any questions that are needed. You'll also dive into the 567 to learn what they're looking to achieve. And you'll be able to tell people, does this program actually help you achieve that? Does it not? You'll have the opportunity to come together to see if it's a good fit. And if so, then they'll have the opportunity to actually join the program fully. If not, then you part ways, no harm, no foul. The call itself will be valuable for getting clarity on your next step of direction and all of that. But even aside from that, say somebody's about ready to get started, but they want to really make sure that it's going to be successful. What kind of ways do you set it up so that lenders looking into this really have the maximum chances of success as possible, where essentially you make it where it's basically uh, it's really hard not to win,
Yeah.
right? You walk away from this process winning regardless, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So my goal is to just make it a no brainer for people that are the right fit.
Right.
So at the end of the 16 weeks, so you actually get in writing, there's 100% money
Right.
back guarantee. If you don't feel the value you got from it, the assets that you got from it, the process that you got from it, and at the end of the 16 weeks, if you're like, you know what, this just wasn't worth it, I'll happily give your
Right.
money back. I love working with the lenders that I work with, and I'm never going to stop creating tools like this. And so I want to work with my clients for a really long time. And if you're not happy, gladly give you your money back. So 100% money guarantee. You know, that's that.
Right.
That's probably the best way I could think of to just make it a no brainer if you think it's a good fit for you to try it.
Full.
And like I mentioned, no tech skills required. One of the really cool things that my clients say, that they've done stuff before and it requires a lot of tech, or they got to hire an admin, or there's like
Right.
all this, they got to watch these videos and then jump through hoops. All that you need is the time available to have the calls every other week, usually about 30
Right.
minutes with your realtors. If you can do 4 of those a month, then I recommend you get 2 realtors, and
Right.
you do it just like that. That's really the time limit. We'll also meet once a week as a group for
Right.
masterminding, but there's not a lot of videos for you to watch or anything like that. And you're going to have my information, because I want to make sure that this is successful. Really, if you want to see if this works for you, fill out the application. We'll see what's important to you and go from there. It's that simple.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, I know you mentioned this a time or two, but just to make sure it's really clear for people, this is an opportunity that not everybody's going to be able to get in on, right? Like, the reality is that your team has limited capacity. You don't take on an infinite number of lenders, that you're rolling this out market by market. And even, this video itself, if you're watching this video, it's being rolled out market by market. So it's being shown to other people in your same market as well. With that in mind, are there any considerations that people should have about if they're thinking this is a good fit and they're wondering if they should take action, why they might want to do that urgent, why they might want to take action as soon as possible?
Yeah, I think we are only bringing on 12 folks. And,
Right.
the reason is, like I already mentioned, this isn't a video series where you have to hire an admin. We literally do the heavy lifting
Right.
for you. We meet with your realtors with you.
Right.
It's very hands on. You're getting kind of a realtor partner concierge team.
Right.
And, if you wait this time, this is a 16-week course. So if you miss out, another six, you're going to have you might have people in your city that have a 16-week head start on you before you can get back in again.
Right.
I think the money back guarantee kind of really makes it a no brainer. And especially for this
Right.
group, like, this is unique that we are putting our own ad spend money behind you as well, that because we want to get the word out for the next group.
Right. Yeah, and I believe, if I recall, you guys actually offer market exclusivity, not forever, but at least for the time period as you're launching somebody. So you won't be onboarding two people at the same time in the same market, essentially giving people, like a 90-day head start over anybody else in their market area. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. 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 So
Yeah,
no one else
good.
in your market's going to be doing that. So you've got access to all the realtors in your area that you want to reach out. You can know you're the only one that's reaching out to them with this offer.
Perfect. Perfect. So there you go. That's the overall idea of the offer here. I definitely recommend people take action if that sounds like it's a good fit. Again, that next step, fill out that application, get on a call with Charlie or Charlie's team, and go through that process of seeing if it's a good fit. Get the opportunity to ask those questions, as well as seeing if what they're up to is going to be a good fit for you and your goals. Any final ideas that you want to leave people with as we close out?
That this is one of my favorite things to do, help entrepreneurs that want to grow. And,
Right.
especially right now, there's so many, lenders that are reaching out to realtors. It's after the refi gold rush. And, a lot of realtors are kind of pissed off. Like, they're like, now you want to
Right.
talk to me? Like,
Right.
you ignored me. What's so powerful in this time, like, realtors, and we're slow, that you've got a real gift
Right.
that you can give them. You're the only one in your market that can do it. And whether you guys work together or not, you're going to build your goodwill, your good name among the city.
Right.
I know with my lenders, I've won when the market heats back up. I win deals because people know my lender, and so it's
Right.
a win-win-win, as Michael Scott would say. And it's something that I love to do. So if you're interested, it's pretty amazing what Paul's been able to do, Scott and Tracy have been able to do, and I'm excited to be able to see if it's a good fit for you too.
Awesome. Awesome. So there you go. I recommend, definitely, if you're watching this video, if you are a lender and seeing this video, there is an opportunity right now for you to go click the link, go to the page, fill out that application, hop on a call with Charlie or Charlie's team, go through that process, see if it's a good fit. And see if it's the right time for you to leverage this process to flip the script on the traditional relationship between real estate agents, realtors, and lenders, and have a waiting list of realtors ready, hungry, waiting for you, rather than you having to chase them down. So there you go. Again, I'm Zach Hammer. This has been Charlie Madison. If you want to take action on that, go ahead and click the link that should be somewhere around this video, readily accessible right now. Click the link, and that'll take you over to the application page for you to dive in, get started, and get that call booked.
Thanks, Zach. May the hunter become
You
the
got
hunted.
it. Indeed.